In 2011, I got my first cell phone, the LG 100C, right here. Just a simple, basic track phone device. But since then, I've gone through 3 more cell phones, and I'm now currently using the Google Nexus 4 smartphone. So, in this video, I'm going to be taking a look at each of these phones and going over my brief cell phone history with you guys. So stay tuned for the video. So in 2011, I really wanted a smartphone. I was in middle school, and all of the kids there had cell phones, and I was kind of a loner and outcast because I didn't have a cell phone. So I went up to my mom and I asked her, "Can I have a cell phone?" She said yes, and she went to Walmart and picked up the cheapest phone that they had, which is right here, the LG 100C. Of course, at the time I didn't know what kinds of cell phones were out there. I didn't know how good they were, so I thought that this was a really, high quality cell phone at the time. Obviously that's not the case, but anyway, I still really liked this cell phone. It was, at the time, it served all my needs. I could text on it, I could call on it, there were even a few games. It was just simple track phone, so the bill was cheap. And overall, this is just a really good phone. But I did eventually get tired of it, so I got a new phone because it was just very difficult to text using this numeric keypad, and just overall I just got tired of the phone. So then I got this, the LG 231C. So this phone was actually handed down for me. This is actually a hand-me-down phone, and it was my first and only flip phone, because at the time that I got this, flip phone was kind of all the rage. And so yeah, I thought this was even cooler than my previous phone because, oh, look at that, it flips open. Wow, I was pretty amazed at the time. Again, this was still in middle school. And texting was so very hard with this numeric keypad, and I did like that the screen was bigger and it had more features, but I didn't have this phone for long, and I got tired of it again, so got rid of this phone and moved on to my first real smartphone. And I say smartphone very lightly there, because this is technically not a smartphone, but at the time it seemed like a smartphone. So I was just at Walmart, just browsing through the phone section one day, and I came across this phone, the LG 800G. And I said to myself, I have to have that phone. It's a touchscreen. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So I got it. This was my first really expensive phone. I think I paid $50 for this out of my own pocket. And yeah, I used this phone for the longest. It is longer than I've used any other phone. I enjoyed it. It was relatively easy to text on, call on. It had a touchscreen. It had a fairly quality camera. Quality compared to the 1.3 megapixel, or excuse me, VGA lens on the 231C. This had a 2 megapixel camera, so I was taking pictures left and right. And yeah, so I used this phone for 2 years. And then LG and TracFone came out with this, the LG 840G. So I was getting a little bit tired of the kind of crappy, resistive, hard-to-use touchscreen on the LG 800G, so I decided to step up to the LG 840G with a nice, easy-to-use capacitive touchscreen. So this was another relatively expensive phone of mine. This was $60. Again, these are all TracFone. So the bill was not very expensive. But this one, I was very happy with this phone, and I'm still happy with it. It had plenty of features. I could text easily on it, call easily. It got pretty good reception, good build quality. Again, a pretty nice camera on it. Overall, just a really good overall phone for me at the time. And as the theme continues, I got tired of that phone a little bit, and I actually wanted to, get a smartphone. Smartphones had been out for a while at the time that I had this phone, so I figured, why don't I find a nice smartphone to use? Because at the time I had this phone, I also had an iPod Touch. So I kind of wanted to just get rid of the two devices. I just wanted to have one device that did both things, one that was kind of a smart device and a cell phone in one, so that was a smartphone. So I did a bunch of research, and about a year ago I purchased my Google Nexus 4. And this was my first really very, very large purchase. This was $250, paid out of my own pocket. And I had a smartphone, and I've been using this smartphone ever since on Straight Talk, since this phone is unlocked. And I've enjoyed this. I mean, compared to these four phones, this has a ton of features, and it's a smartphone, which is something that, I'd wanted for a while when I had these phones. So yeah, that's my relatively brief phone history from the LG 100C to the LG 231C, LG 800G, LG 840G, all track phones, to finally the LG Google Nexus 4, which is on Straight Talk. Oh hey, that's kind of weird. I noticed that all five of these phones are all LG phones. I didn't do that on purpose. I guess it's just kind of how things ended up. But anyway, that's my brief phone history. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. And check out my website, mobiletechnologyreviews.weebly.com. You can read my written reviews of these phones, and check out various things on my website, so head on over there. And thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you for putting up with me. And catch you guys. See you in the next one.